For those of you who want to share the live link, it's right here that you can share it. For those who would want to share on your WhatsApp, if you're in any WhatsApp groups and you want to share the live link for this evening's class, you are free to do that. As a matter of fact, you're very welcome to share this evening's class. I think this evening's class is one that is going to be helpful for a number of individuals. So it would be good to share this evening's class. And the title for this evening's message again is Progress Through Pain. And we will be looking at that this evening. Just setting that up. Just bear with me one moment as I set it. One last detail and then we're good to go. Okay, just getting there, I'm getting there. All right. This evening, let me get my art quiz record to the class. All right, a very pleasant good evening to one and all distinguished ambassadors, all members of the class of Steele. I want to first acknowledge the person of our COO in the person of Her Excellency Dori Barungi out of Uganda. I also want to acknowledge the person of our Chief of Protocol, His Excellency Dr. Donald Ewers in the United Kingdom. I want to identify the person of one of our chief lecturers and mentors in the class of Steele and our global partnership coordinator in the person of Her Excellency Dr. Anita Davis before out of the United States of America currently. I want to acknowledge His Excellency Daniel Supuru, Reverend Daniel Supuru out of Nigeria, responsible for those in our Franco regions. I want to acknowledge the person of Reverend Paul Udemba, His Excellency Reverend Paul Udemba, who is out of Nigeria and responsible for our chaplains globally. I want to acknowledge the person of Her Excellency Dr. Comfort Adu, Bishop Dr. Comfort Adu, who is currently in Ghana. She is responsible for Ghana and the West Africa region for the class of Steele. and any other invited guests, all of us, we look forward to a wonderful evening in the class of Steele. Those from out of the UK, I see represented the UK, I see represented Sierra Leone, I see represented also the DRC, and I see other regions that are represented in the class this evening. Thank you so very much for joining with us. For those on our YouTube channel and those on our LinkedIn and our Facebook and social media, you're very welcome to this evening's session of the class of Steele. This evening, we started on Monday looking at progress through pain. And we heard a number of discourses that have put us in a place of appreciating that pain does different things to all of us. And in the closing sessions, I gave a run through of a number of dynamics of progress through pain. And this evening, I want to take a bit of time to look at those dynamics with us. And I know that your stories and your experiences will also add value to others who are maybe currently experiencing pain while trying to make progress, or others who have experienced pain but have progressed and would want to say, wow, I see myself in that situation. So the effects of pain on certain dynamics are very critical. And I want to go through those dynamics this evening. Specifically, I'm going to take time and go through them because I ran through them quickly on Monday, but I want to spend some time on them so that we could derive great benefit from the teaching this evening in class. The effects of pain on character. I really want us to look at this dynamic, the effects of pain on character. As an individual, how has pain shaped your character? How have disappointment, hurt, upset, how has it shaped your character? I want to talk to you, and as a mentor, I'm going to be very open and I'm going to be very vulnerable because I think that when we're teaching and we're sharing, it is good to share from a point of vantage point of our perspective rather than parallels and similarities. I can speak best of my situation, and I believe that equally you can speak best from your own situation. But I want you to put yourself in this situation this evening, and truly, I really want you to look at your character as a result of the pains that you've come through. And if you find that there are places in your character you need to change, listen, all of us are changing daily. And if we do not utilize tools that are going to cause us to be better citizens, not just for ourselves, but our communities and our country and the nations, what's the point in learning? What's the point in growing? We need to always be in a place to improve. So what are some of the effects of pain on our character? What does character speak of? Character speak of those characteristics that are who you are as an individual. It speaks of the core of who you are. For example, are you a mean person? I don't want you to say, oh, I've become mean because of the things that have happened to me. I want to be very honest with you. That's not true. Your character is not defined by what you go through. I want you to understand this very carefully. Your character is defined by your DNA. I'm going to share some things with you that I want you to focus on. Your DNA. Your DNA defines your character. As you get older in life and you grow and you experience things, a lot of times you recognize you become angry, you become resentful, you become upset, you become overwhelmed, you become pressured, frustrated, easily agitated. But I want to submit to you, you were not born that way. You adopted that modus operandi as a result of the pain you experienced. For example, how many of you from the Caribbean, like me, I was raised up in the Caribbean, and my mom flogged me. I got so much floggings that, to be quite honest, if I was in the United Kingdom, I could not imagine what would happen to my mother for the amount of floggings that I received. How many of you got a lot of floggings when you were young? Wave at me, please wave at me. Come on, just wave at me. I'm not trying to expose us in any negative way, but we had a lot of correcting. And the floggings and the correction that I received, they did not kill me. They did not destroy me. What did they do to me? They caused me to be a very responsible young man. They caused me to learn and understand boundaries. So the pain that I received as the correction from my mother for errors caused me to understand boundaries and how to fit them in their right perspective. So as I grew up as a child, I learned to identify boundaries. I learned also respect. How many times have my mother slapped me in the mouth for speaking and saying the wrong things the wrong way to adults or others? So pain on my character has shaped it to a place where I became a young man who have a knowledge of how to speak to my elders. Are we going somewhere? A lot of our young people today, as a result of the liberties that are being given, they don't have respect. They don't have character that is conducive to building nations. They're very antisocial, rebellious, boisterous, in some cases, disrespectful. So pain caused me in my youth to understand the dynamics that are shaping my character. So I was born as a young man, and all of us were born with a capacity to learn how are we going to behave. And it is all as a result of our teaching. As a Christian, I came up as a Christian. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he's old, he will not depart from it. Why? Because it will become his character. When you're young, you're known for certain things. I'm a talker. From my youth, I was talkative. It is in my nature. It is in my character. I am talkative. Any person who knows me can tell you I'm a talkative person, but I know where to and when to. And there are times that I can be very quiet that you would never believe that I'm a talker. So I know where to and when to because of character and because of a character that was molded through experiences. As I got older, I learned how to curb my character according to where I'm positioned. I don't like telling lies. I hate liars. It is in my character. Anyone who knows me will tell you it is better not to be communicating with me and keep your distance from me if you're a liar than to start any communication with me and you are a liar. I abhor lying. I find it difficult to lie. When you are a liar, you have to have a great memory. Liars find themselves in so much trouble because it is unfortunate, but I don't think that God gave liars good memories. I think he stripped them of something to get them to get found out. You know, liars don't have good memories. They always forget. They tell a story to one person, and then the next time they have to relate the story, it changes because they don't remember what they told to somebody else. And I hate liars and lying, totally. I also, I'm a good listener. I'm an exceptionally good listener. Don't be this, and I'm talking about character. I want you to look at your character. I want you to look at your character. While I'm talking, don't look at me. Look at your character, because this is very, very critical. Now, let me share something with you from my youth to help you to understand where we're going. When I was young, when I was a young kid, oh my goodness, I was a liar when I was a young kid. Michael, did you do that? No. Come on, somebody. I'm talking to you the truth. I'm talking to you. I was a liar when I was a little kid. I was always the person. It was not me. Oh my God, but the amount of hiding that I received from my mother for telling lies, I realized lying is not one of the best attributes to add to your character. So I would actually say to you, my mother created an environment where lying was totally knocked out of me. By the time I must have been 8 or 9 years old, lying was knocked out of me. I was afraid to tell lies. Where got me if you had parents that gave you the right guidance that caused you to be the right person that you are today. I'm talking about character, and I'm talking about pain on your character. So as a result of the pain that I experienced from my mother and my elders, my character was molded. It caused me to make decisions that is not a good attribute to have. I'm a good listener. Because you see, when you're talkative, you constantly hear people saying, you will listen, you don't hear. So because I'm talkative, a lot of people say to me from my youth, you don't listen? Why don't you learn to listen? So I recognized that listening was important from my youth. So I'm a very, very good listener. And while I'm listening, I also like to take notes, because I've learned as you get older, you don't remember everything. So I'm a good listener. So my character. People embarrass me. Oh gosh, why don't you just stop talking so much? This is pain on my character. And the effect of pain caused me to learn to listen. Your character is going to be molded according to your desire for change. Pain on your character it means nothing if you're rebellious. Nothing, absolutely nothing. There are persons who are compulsive liars, and they have received beatings, they have received floggings, they have received reprimands, they have been locked up, imprisoned, there have been all sorts of things you have done to them, and they refuse to change their odious behavior. So peeing on those types of characters means absolutely nothing. I'm talking to you this evening in this teaching because I want you to understand progress through pain. There are some individuals who receive pain and pain and pain, and they never progress in life. Are you such a person? Do you look at your character and recognize that you are changing as a result of the pain, as a result of embarrassment, as a result of some of the shames that you've experienced? There's some individuals, even now as an elder, as an adult, they're persons at different levels that when I go into ultra high net worth circles, there's a different behavior that you have to display. You can't be yourself. You can't be yourself in every circle. They say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And if you go to a country and you're not humble and submissive to understand how to behave in that environment, you will cause problems. How many of you get what I'm saying? Wave at me if you get what I'm saying. If your character does not change according to pain, you will not be a better person and you will not become globally relevant. We're talking about pain and progress. And we're looking at your character. Are you a person that when pain comes, you get angry? Oh, he's always talking down to me. Why does he talk to me like this? Well, maybe he's talking to you like that because you need it. Maybe she's talking to you like that because you're not listening and you're not getting it. Maybe the reason why you don't keep a job is because you don't learn the lessons that it's trying to teach you. I've been through some horrible experiences as a man, but they've all molded and shaped my character. And one of the things that I've always had as a statement, and I want you to write this one down. I want you to write this statement. If you don't already have it, write it. And one day you will get it. It will serve you well. It is one that is going to visit you every single day. Every day, this statement is going to visit you. But if you want to experience progress through the pain you receive, I want you to write this statement down. Statement number one. This pain is going to make me better and not bitter. Write that down. I endeavor to become better and not bitter. That's statement number one. I'm going to become better and not bitter. The class of Steele is going to challenge me as an individual to become better and not bitter. The pain that I might receive from a rebuke, the pain that I might receive from a correction, the pain that I might receive from a public exposing of, you know what, Dr. Steele, you need to do A, B, or C. Am I going to allow that to cause me to go off of YouTube and live streaming and live classes? Or am I going to come on live classes and YouTube and be a better person as a result of that criticism or that input or that counsel? How am I going to become as a result of whatever input is being made in my life? Am I going to be better or bitter? Is it going to cause me to progress or regress? Come on, I'm talking about character this evening. Wave at me if I'm doing okay. Come on, just give me a wave so at least I know somebody's with me. We're talking about your character. All of us. I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I have met some powerful people in high circles. They do not have good character because they think money gives you character or currency gives you character. Currency does not give you character. It does not. Currency gives you opportunities. Currency gives you servants. Currency gives you the ability to afford things, but currency does not give you character. It does not. Unless, of course, you come and pay for the class of Steele, and when I tell you things about your character that need changing, you choose to do those things, then currency can do that for you. But character is based on your personal appreciation or lack thereof for pain. So pain is important for your character. Let's go on. I hope I'm going to do a series on the character, and it's going to be a paid series. I'll tell you. So it will cost you to be in that series. And I hope some of you will come and glean from that series at the appointed time. Let's go on. Physical. Pain on your physical. Now, we've just passed the character. We've just passed the character. Let's look at the physical person. The physical man. A lot of you don't pay attention to your physical appearance. Let's talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. And please, don't take this personal or don't take this offensive. I'm talking to you. Am I okay to talk to you as a mentor? Is it okay? We're talking about pain now, and we're looking at progress. And we're looking at the physical man. Let's look at some dynamics of physical that are important. And the first one that I want to talk about is how do you look? How you look. Your hair, your face, your beard, your aroma, how you smell. I'm talking to us. Your fingers. Do you look after your fingers, your fingernails, your toenails? I'm talking to us. I'm talking about our physical appearance. I'm talking to us. You see, the reason why I'm talking to us is because all of these things add to our character. Your physical appearance adds to your character. As an ambassador, as a global leader, as a business person, these are some very important things. And in the class of Steele, I'm not going to allow any person in the class of Steele to think that as your mentor, I'm not going to take serious note of things that are important, because they are important. I remember, and I'm talking to us, I remember when I saw my pastor, the Reverend Dr. Holmes Williams. I was about 20, and I think I must have been about maybe 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. And I used to, all of us cut our fingernails, look at, you can see my fingernails. I didn't even know I was going to do that, but you see my fingernails. We cut our fingernails. I bet there's some of you that if I tell you, show me your fingernails, right, you might be scared. But I'll show you my fingernails. You look after, and I saw his hands when he's turning the pages of the Bible while we were talking. And I was just like, wow. You see the fingernails, they're nice and clean and cut. I don't go and do no manicure and pedicure. Those are for when you get into a different circle that you can do that. It's nice to go and get a pedicure and a manicure. But I'm talking to her. I really want you to get the nature of what I'm talking about this evening, because it's important. It really is important. And I saw him in a pair of sandals. My God, when I saw his toes, hey, come on, somebody. Is there anybody that when you see their toes, you are so like, wow, that person pays attention. He's my bishop, he's my pastor, but he pays attention even to his toenails that you wear socks and shoes to hide. And I decided all by myself, I'm going to add caring for my toes to my character, my physical character. And now when I see people walking in sandals and shoes, and I look down and I see their toenails looking like though they don't recognize that the Lord even trimmed the trees by, I said, oh, hey, I'm talking to you as your mentor. I'm talking to you. You go to people's houses and their homes and you take off your shoes and your feet don't smell very pleasant. I am talking to you. I'm talking about your physical appearance. Being on your physical appearance. Because people, for example, in our home, when I was young, how many of you know that there was a place where there's a carpet in our houses and mom would say, don't go up there with your shoes on. Come on, wait a minute if you know what I'm talking about. But could you imagine the person that have come to the house and their feet were inappropriately smelling? And when they walk on your carpet, it's an embarrassment. My goodness. And you see them dressed up in their suits and they come, but when they take off their shoes, I'm talking about pain on your physical character. It takes time. It takes effort to look after your appearance. It does. Oh, I'm a man of God. I don't have time to look after that. I'm interested in the soul. I'm interested in the soul. Hey, come on, somebody. You gotta be interested in, if you show up somewhere and somebody says to you, oh, please come with me. I want to take you to show you some, please. Even Jesus, when they stood on the land and they said, this is holy ground, take off your shoes. You're standing on holy ground. How many of you olive oil your feet and make your toes look nice and your feet look nice? Come on, add it to your physical character. Add it. Focus on it. Look at it. So that when you come around, you come with a pleasant savor, a pleasant aroma. Are you a fat person? Are you a thin person? It doesn't matter. If you are a fat person, you're a thin person, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to be like anybody else. Just look after your hygiene and your personal appearance and love your physical self. When you look into the mirror and love the physical person you see. You've got to go through the pain of making sure you look good, eat healthy, eat proper foods. I'm talking about your physical, pain on your physical. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. Don't just look at somebody like me and say, oh, Bishop, I love how you wear your suit. I love how you dress and you carry yourself. You like it because it looks pleasant. But I make it pleasant. It doesn't just happen. It takes effort. Come on, somebody, wave at me if you're with me, and if I'm not offending you, just wave at me if I'm not offending you. I remember having mentors that are teaching me, Your Excellency, there is a time you need to wear a tie. Come on, somebody. There's a time, Your Excellency, it is not about if you like it or you don't like it. There's a time when it's acceptable and it's appropriate. A lot of us need to understand certain things that are acceptable and appropriate. And as an ambassador, don't show up for any meeting in your polo shirt unless it dictates that. Don't show up in a polo shirt and a pair of slippers. Don't do it. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are. There's some things that are protocols. Your physical appearance have protocols. You need to learn how to follow them. And it's going to be painstaking. Oh, I don't like going through this. That's what pain is all about. It's painstaking to do it. I used to wear ties all the time. And when I got to the place where I didn't have to wear ties, yes, thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. But then I find myself as an ambassador. How would it look if I was coming and teaching a class of Steele in a t-shirt? Come on. How would it? I saw somebody came to the class of Steele and they were laying down on the ground and then they're just I'm thinking, hey, wrong place. Not here. Not here. You got to cater to your physical appearance. Let me go on so that I don't belabor that point. So I hope you get it. Your physical appearance is important. Going to the gym, if you need to do that, it's fine. It's going to cause you pain, but the pain is going to serve you well. Doing walking exercises, maintaining a physical exercise. His Excellency Minister Urias came and visited me, and we did not just sit at the table and had coffee. Minister Urias, come on. We walked about 2 or 3 kilometers. As a matter of fact, we did about 2 or 3 kilometers, Your Excellency. Is that correct, Your Excellency? We did about 2 or 3 kilometers walk together. Why? Because you get fresh air, you get exercise. It's good for the body. It's good for the thoughts. It's good for you. You meet strangers along the way. It's nice. So your physical appearance, let's move on. Emotional. Emotional. Pain on your emotions. Oh my goodness. Pain on your emotions. I could bet there's some individuals sometimes when we're having discourses, I could bet you there's some individuals that leave and they said, I'm not going back there. I'm not going back around him. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Emotional. Come on, wait a minute to get what I'm saying. Who do you think you are talking to me like that? Telling me about this and telling me about that. Emotional. I had my times. I had my times of not recognizing that you need to be emotionally strong. You need to be. It's a muscle that is developed through pain, through embarrassment, through shame. It doesn't come easy. Emotional stability does not come easy, and you will never, ever master it. That's the interesting thing about our emotions. You will never master it. Just when you think you got it together. I have been a peace ambassador for over 30 years. And I have worked with police officers, commissioners of police in Scotland Yard, in the United Kingdom, police in Romania, police in Chile, police in the US, United States of America, police in St. Lucia, in St. Vincent, in Guyana, in Trinidad and Tobago, police officers in Canada, police officers in Barbados. I have worked with police officers globally. I've been in teachings at the highest levels of policing. I've been trained at Hendon with regards to policing here in the United Kingdom. And I never, ever thought that I would ever feel and get to a place where I got so annoyed at a situation that I would find myself in handcuffs. Never thought. But you see, your emotion has so many different dynamics that trigger you. So many different dynamics. And because you have never been triggered before, don't think that you have passed. My mom always say to me, what have not passed you have not met you yet. Don't think you've conquered what haven't met you yet. I will never sit in the class of Steele and declare that I will never do this or I will never do that. You know why? Because I have discovered as you get older that your emotional stability can be triggered at any given point. And all of us have our limits. Pain on your emotion is very critical. You see, if we look at it as a Christian, I like the fact of the 40-day fast. A lot of individuals do not understand the dynamic of the 40-day fast. I've done a 40-day fast. I'm going to tell you a secret about a 40-day fast. And it's not glorying in anything, but I want to tell you a secret of a 40-day fast. A 40-day fast, it does something to you. Each day, please listen to me. Each day, your tolerance gets lower and lower and lower. If you don't like liars, and liars come around you in a 40-day fast period, your tolerance, it is different. If you love food, but you have committed your mind to a 40-day fast, food will play on your emotions, pain on your emotions. You get all the feelings. Why do you think that at the end of the fast, the devil showed up for Jesus? Because that's your weakest point. That's when you're most vulnerable, when you're hungry, when you're tired. I don't want to talk about tactics and strategies, but one of the things that is used, and I'm not going to go into where and when and why, but one of the things that is used to test a man's ability is tired. You keep him awake for long times, long hours. Keep him awake. Don't let him sleep. Keep him awake. Long time. 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, 20 hours, 22 hours, 24 hours. I'm talking to you for a reason. I'm talking about your emotions. And the longer you're awake, the more pain on your emotion it causes. And your body gets tired, extremely weary. And guess what? You can get so angry. You can get so angry when you are tired. It's interesting, but when I'm very tired, I actually get very hilarious. I'm actually hilarious when I'm tired. I'm troublesome when I'm tired to my wife. When I'm very tired, I'm troublesome. And I'm always laughing and joking. And my wife is saying, I'm just going to sleep. And while I'm trying to go to sleep and I'm making jokes with my wife, I'm very troublesome. So emotionally, when I'm tired, I can be very giggly. That's my nature. It's in my character. But how are you emotionally when you feel pressure? How are you when somebody dies and you didn't expect it, but right before you have to go and deliver a sermon or a message? How are you? How does it affect your emotions? How does it affect your emotions when you get bad news? How does it affect you? How does it affect your emotion when you don't get what you think you want or you think you deserve in a relationship emotionally? Oh, he doesn't hug me anymore. He doesn't hug me, we don't cuddle, we don't kiss. How are you? How are you emotionally? Does your emotions go out of whack? That because you don't get it from where you want it, all of a sudden you are free for all because of your emotional need? He doesn't listen to me. She doesn't listen to me. So do you go and tell everybody your business and talk to everybody willy-nilly? How are you emotionally? How are you when you receive bad news? How do you deal with it? A lot of you are leaders. People depend on you. How are you when you are struggling and things are difficult for you? How are you emotionally? When the people you're supposed to be serving call you and you're going through pressure, do you trip? Why are you calling me? What is the problem? What is wrong? What? Hurry up, get to the point. How are you emotionally? Do you maintain your character? Or do you get angry and vulgar to somebody who doesn't have a clue about what's going on with you? There are lots of individuals that I'm in business with that I will tell you. Ultra high net worth individuals are some of the most horrible individuals to work with when they go through emotional disappointment. They are absolutely horrible to work with. They do not have no character. As a matter of fact, I will tell you something. All of you ultra high net worth individuals who are listening to me, I want to tell you something. If nobody was man enough to tell you, I want to tell you something. Don't think that your money and your currency impresses everyone. There are individuals who want to work with somebody who has respect for individuals even when things go bad. Things in life will not always go bad. An employer coming to work and the boss having a bad day with his wife It's absolutely no excuse for you to take out your horrible emotions on individuals that have not done you anything. You are a shield to your corporation and those that are watching you. And your shareholders, when they get word, a lot of shareholders will leave you because you do not have any emotional character. The pain or your emotion destroys your capacity for progress because individuals will work with you, but I promise you, they will not expand you because they will not introduce you to others because your character, how you respond to pain is not acceptable. Come on, somebody, wave at me if I'm making sense. If I'm making sense, just wave at me. Dr. Defoe, you're one person that I want you to tell me if I'm making sense, Your Excellency. As a matter of fact, I'm even going to stop there today because I think that's a point that I can stop. The time is 2 minutes past 10, and I'm going to stop there. I have a couple more, and Dr. Defoe, if you would like to do them on Friday, if you're available, or what we could do, we could look at the other. But Dr. Defoe, I'm going to pull on you first for that particular one, pain on the emotions, because that's an important point, and I'm going to pull on you, Dr. Defoe. What's your take on that one?
Well, Your Excellency, Bishop Steele, you are hitting on a topic that leaders find themselves confronted with, and that is pain and emotions. And people that you are leading, they look to you as the leader, and they expect a level of calm. And the reality of it is wealth does not provide a bunker for anyone against disappointment, denial, distraction, disruption. If wealth did that, then we would not see so many very wealthy people in situations that they often don't know how they got in, and certainly don't know how they got to get out of them. Dealing with your emotions as a leader is a struggle for us all. All of us have had experiences that have either caused us to be stronger, or in a lot of cases have derailed people emotionally, so that they are not able to totally function to their highest level of possibility and potential. And so as the leader, we all have to come to the conclusion and understanding that those things that have happened to us in the past, those are our opportunities to learn, to gain wisdom. I often say, you can't constantly walk around and live looking in the rearview mirror. That if you continue to look behind you, you stay there. And so you're not able to really be present, or certainly not prepare for, for the future. And many times as leaders, when we are going through situations, many times situations that repeat themselves over and over and over, it is because we have not gained the wisdom. We haven't learned the lesson, and we're doing the same behaviors over and over again. And so as a leader, especially, well, it's of significance all the time, but certainly in this season that we're in, because we are in a season that is filled with so much uncertainty. Anxiety is very high. People have found the level of disruption in their lives, in their businesses, in their work, just, like unlike anything before. So people's emotions are running high just in general with, do I wear the mask? Do I not wear a mask? Do I take the vaccine? Do I not take the vaccine? It is an ongoing situation that we find ourselves, confronted with. So you are spot on when you talk about the emotions and how as leaders we have to work and deal with our emotions, and how we have to understand them. We all have them. We have to ask ourselves when those things happen, Your Excellency, what am I really thinking? What am I feeling? Does this remind me of something that I experienced before? Why am I reacting this way? Let me get to the root cause. What is it? Is it something that somebody said to me, before? Did someone do something? Because many times we have those flashbacks. And so we got to look at our, and you're so spot on when you're talking about our DNA, because our DNA, whether it's from birth or environmental, it really focuses and impacts our belief system. So if I'm believing that I'm worthless or I'm useless or I'm not valuable, or that because I had this setback and I'm living that pain over and over, it really impacts your ability not only to lead yourself, but to lead the team. And when your spirit is that way, or when you are unable to master your own emotions, it makes it very difficult for you to lead a team, because your team is looking at you. They're looking at your behaviors. They're looking at your voice and your tone. And I was chuckling when you said, when someone calls you and if you're having emotional challenges or something, that you're abrupt with them, or that you're short with them, or what do they want? And that's saying, to me, that when we are in that point, we need to work on our emotional intelligence, because people watch it. They watch you as a leader. I'll just say this before I go. The last job I had before consulting, the CEO of the company, he only came out of his office when he was pissed off about something, or he was looking to yell at somebody. Other than that, he came in. If you happen to be in the lobby, he might say good morning. And other than that, he was in his office. You didn't see him. He came when he would convene meetings. But other than that, none of us as vice presidents will he have any contact with you, unless something you did he didn't like, or he wanted you to do something. No interaction with the team. Just the culture was very negative. And as a leader, your emotions, your ability to keep your emotions in check, your ability, to manage that really impacts the culture. Because as I've shared before, the law of the lid, John Maxwell teaches us that you can go into any organization and the organization's effectiveness and impact will never be greater than who's at the helm, the leader. And so when you're looking around in your organization and if things going awry and the culture is negative, I hate to tell you, the first face you got to look at is that one that you look at, that you see in the morning when you brushing your teeth. YOU. And I'll just stop there.
Your Excellency, Dr. DeFore, that is so wonderful, because the reason why I'm smiling is because you and I got a couple of master classes that are going to be paid master classes. They're going to cause you some pain. And those master classes that you and I are going to be hosting, individuals are going to be shocked out of their wits when we share some truths with them that are so simple, but individuals are not aware that it's so simple. So I'm looking forward to when we decide that we're going to let them be aware of those secret master classes. What about you, Dr. DeFore? I'm serious. The excitement that I have for what we're doing is because you and I know where we're going and what we're doing and what we have for individuals who want to get to the next level. Because the truth of the matter is, I could not be the way that I am if I did not go through master classes. I could not be the way that I am if I did not sit in the places where you sat, Dr. DeFore. And you and I, even at this age, we are still going through classes. Come on, add value to that statement, Your Excellency.
Oh, most definitely. I believe in continuous improvement and a lifelong learning. And as a leader, that has to be a mindset. Getting a certificate or a degree, whatever you got on your walls, it doesn't end there. It's ongoing, because We're in a knowledge economy. We're in an inventive thinking economy. And the more you know, the more you grow, and you can learn something each and every day. And I'll say one last thing. It was funny when you were talking about, attire and nails and and toenails. And it's funny. Someone on a call earlier to me, and they were like, "Oh, you look so beautiful today." I said, "Well, I said, my late mother used to tell me, and this is what all leaders need to remember. You may be feeling bad. You may be doing bad, but you don't have to look bad. You always you carry yourself with the level of excellence. People don't need to know your business. You might not have $1 in your pocket, maybe can't even buy a bag of rice. Nobody needs to know that. You never carry yourself that you as a leader are looking like you on your last leg and your last breath. You never. It doesn't matter what you see with your naked eye, because if you have faith and you keep persisting, it is going to get better. So you don't want to walk around with a doubt, because when you allow yourself to be that, then your spirit gets downtrodden as well. And you don't want to succumb to that. So always, even if you can't even buy a cup of coffee, it doesn't matter, because that's only a momentary situation. Know that that's not where you're going to end up. That might be just what you face in that day. And I'll stop there.
I want to use a term, and I'm gonna throw off to some questions and comments from you guys. Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, Dr. DeFore. Come on, let's celebrate her. That's when you have a chief lecturer and mentor and somebody that knows where we're going. We celebrate you, Your Excellency, Dr. DeFore. One of the things that you know about a person that was wealthy and is disappointed, the first thing you observe is diminished responsibility. The car starts to look dirty. They don't wash the car no more. Then you find that the car starts to look like it's an office. All over there's food and things. They refuse to take them out the car. Then you notice they don't shave anymore. They don't comb their hair. A lot of individuals don't know it, but there was a period in my life where persons did not know that I could actually grow a beard. Why? Because I shave every morning, my head and my face, every single day with military precision. But my wife likes this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm talking to you. I don't like this. But do you know how many leaders that I speak to, and they look at me and they say, "Your Excellency, you look professional. You look like a leader." Because when I don't have any hair on my face, I'm like a small boy. But come on, I'm 50 years old and I feel good to look like a small boy. It is you who think I'm a small boy, but I like to look young. But this gives me a sophisticated look that I decide I will follow through with. It's all about the pressures and the pains of the physical appearance. All right. So it will cost you. When I look into the mirror, I don't smile too much, but I'm okay. It doesn't look too bad. But very soon you're going to see me ball again. And then I will be smiling big like myself. All right. Your Excellency, Dr. Donald Ewers, I want your take on this evening's class, please. What's your take on the class this evening?
A pleasant good evening, Your Excellence, and all the excellence in the house. You are spot on, sir. And your characteristics truly defines who you are. One of the things, if I can use the expression, as a leader, you don't know how proud, if I can use that expression, I was when you were in Dubai and you're the class of Steele and you went up on the forum and the platform and well-groomed. Well, it's not only your characters, it's the way you speak as well. Some people who are leaders, you have to put your hand on your face with some leaders when they go up and they said that is your senior bishop, or that is your senior pastor, or that is whether husband or whether wife. There's some people, they don't have public speech, they can't speak, and it's embarrassing. And so public speaking and characteristics, and when you're in leadership, it takes a lot of things. A lot of things with grooming is a number one. The way you smell, number two. The way you carry yourself has a lot to do with characteristics, and the characteristics of the person. People act according to your behavior and how you look, how you speak, how you present yourself. So it's a big opening door to go into it. You spot on, and it's good as a mentor to remind us that how to carry ourselves, to remind us how to behave in public, and how to, and I will always use my example when I was going in Dubai, when we were going to the American hospital for our COVID certificate. And the way I dressed with my flip-flop slippers, my little t-shirt, and you said to me, where on earth you going dressed like that as a peace ambassador? And so when I went there, and the young man was questioning my background and where I'm from the moment I said who I was and showed the badge, the questions were stopped. Now, if I had a presentation of how, he wouldn't have questioned me, because my attire would speak, the badge would speak. So a lot of way how we carry ourselves also defines our characteristics, because we are laid back. Do you know the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth? You cannot go in the palace, Buckingham Palace, dress any and anyhow to present the Queen. They won't even allow you. Do you know in the world, in some of the nightclubs and so on, they say no jeans, no t-shirt. So in our way we present ourselves speaks a lot, sir. And so when we're a child of God, that's another characteristics of behavior, our language, the way we carry ourselves, the way we speak, say a lot to our characteristics. So, sir, you're spot on. We could go give room for other people to comment. You're really defining us that as a mentor, peace ambassador for us, that how we to carry ourselves, how we should behave ourselves. And finally, I'd like to say, I lived in one area for 20 years, and I was living in London. And it's a cul-de-sac. The cul-de-sac's got 28 houses. When my lovely wife passed away, two of my neighbors said they've observed me, the way I behave with my family. Because of my behavior, they've never heard me raising my voice. They've never heard me shouting at my wife. They've never heard me shouting at my children. They came all the way from London to Birmingham to the funeral. So I'm saying that even the area, your neighbors will observe. And somebody will say, oh, he's a Christian, or he's a pastor, or he's an ambassador. It's all that, man. Because your characteristic speaks wherever you go, your workplace. So, sir, you're spot on. And thank you for enlightening us with that. And my the definition of all that your character speak for itself. God bless you, sir.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, and Chief of Protocol, because you dress well, you look well. If you see me in photos with His Excellency, he always looks sharp, always. And I admire him. As a matter of fact, so much so when he showed up to meet with me, two boys chilling, we were in shorts. We were the boys in shorts. But could you imagine, even in shorts, he had matching shoes to the shorts.
Don't even go there.
Your Excellency, I appreciate you as an example for the ambassadors that we are mentoring and guiding by the grace of God. I appreciate you, Your Excellency.
Amen.
Thank you so much for your submission.
Thank you, sir.
I want to ask our, I don't see, I see Olukoya for the youth. Olukoya, Your Excellency Olukoya, Architect Olukoya, are you available to lend your voice this evening to the discussion? Because you are our youth representative, and I think more than anybody, the youth need to have the correct protocols as they grow up. Your Excellency Olukoya, what is your take on this evening's presentation, please?
Good evening, Your Excellency. Good
evening, Olukoya. We can hear you.
Good evening, all the ambassadors and excellencies in the house. Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity to just lend my voice, and I appreciate what you taught us tonight. And I believe that one of the essence of leadership is to be able to bring people to see that it's not rocket science arriving at where we have gotten to and we are going. We've been able to share very intimate things with us, and you've been able to also let us see the process that you have gone through, some of the pains that you've gone through, and how you were able to manage those pains, and you are still able to make progress. A lot of people will not understand that no matter the difficulty that you go through, you must arrive at the place where you are going. And I listened to virtually every point that you made, the sacrifice you make to even make the First Lady happy, even when you were citing the example of the beards and all of that. Most times we live as leaders, not for ourselves, but basically for others. And you have been able to model this for many of us. And I don't have any regrets, following your leadership. And the impact that you are making in our lives, some of them may not be obvious immediately, but eventually they are going to show. You have really opened our eyes this evening to how much of a long way you have come, how the pains that you have gone through have formed part of the character that you exhibit today. From the first class of Steele I attended, there's virtually no class that you take that you don't mention character. Now, somebody will be wondering why character all the time. The truth is that pain is synonymous to character. And if we can allow pain to do its work, there's no way our character will be faulty. I appreciate what Dr. Anita Defoe shared about leaders' emotions and all of that. And if we can take a cue from those contributions and from what you have said, because the expectation of everybody for every leader is that the leader cannot fail. or should not fail. And so if that expectation is that high, then anything we can do or we need to do to make sure that our character is not in question, then we should do it. Those master classes, those additional learning that she was talking about, a lot of people may not understand how can she at her level and you at your level still be learning. But the truth is, the day you stop learning, that day you start dying. And so if Dr. Anita Defoe at her age, and you also with all your credentials, you are still learning, because you are showing, you are both showing us that you can be below 50 or below 60 and still be learning and gather a lot of credentials, yet still continue to learn. And she at her age is still learning, then it means that many of us don't have excuse but to build ourselves. And to build ourselves in this level, we must go through all kinds of pain. Now, those pains are the things that will mold us and shape us. And once we allow those learning, like when you mentioned the other time that sometimes you can be rebuked openly, there is nothing, if you observe, if somebody is rebuked and he makes adjustment immediately, that person had taken more than 10 strides with that painful rebuke. But if the person gets upset, the person has taken another giant stride backward. So the choice is for us to accept the pain of the rebuke, make adjustment, and then move forward, or we take it as an insult and say, why is he talking to me that way? And then we move backward. So there is a whole lot that I want to meditate on this night from all that you have shared, so that those decisions, in fact, as little as keeping our nails clean and all of that, they are very important things that we must not glide over and just ignore. So thank you very much, Your Excellency. Paying attention to details is very critical. And those things are also going to help us, to be able to manage whatsoever pain that comes our way. And I appreciate what Dr. US shared with us, and it's very true, and I agree with him. And like you said, he's a very fashionable person. I always admire him. Thank you very much, sir. And you too, the way you dress is admirable. You're always looking sharp all the time. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you so very much. Your Excellency Olukoya, who is responsible for our youth, and he is based in Nigeria, but he's doing a great work there. And our young people are in very, very, very capable hands as a leader, as a speaker, as a conscientious young man, as a family man with a wife and his children. The youth of the nations, I believe, are in very good hands with His Excellency Olukoya from Nigeria. So I look forward to the wonderful times that we're going to have and the fun that we're going to have with the young people of our nations as we mentor them to be the impact for the generations to come. So again, I appreciate you, Your Excellency Olukoya. I appreciate you. I want to ask one of our elders, and I respect him so much, Your Excellency, Reverend Daniel Sapuru out of Nigeria, one of the elders in the class of Steele. I shout loudly and I get excited, but there's a quietness every time I'm looking across at my elder to make sure I don't offend my elder. Your Excellency, Daniel Sapuru, what is your take on this evening's class, please?
I greet you, Your Excellency. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk. And I also want to greet everybody in the class. Thank you very much. Obviously, every day we sit down here to listen to you, to listen to the class of Steele. We learn a lot. You actually reminded me of a lot of experiences I have had. And I would just want to share two, and then I will give other people the opportunity. Progress through pain. It's a very wonderful lesson. I would have been in the UK working under an organization that somebody stopped it. A Nigerian, he stopped it. So I was hurt. I was pained, and my first reaction was I would go to this man and tell him off and so on. But when you were talking about emotion, I thank God for what he let me know. So please don't bother. They just took our light now. So that is why you cannot see my face. Okay, they brought it back. So, okay. So what I'm trying to say is that when I remembered that my character can even ruin myself if I did what I planned to do. But I thank God that I didn't do it. And instead of me being dampened morally, the Lord somehow elevated me by sending me to Equa Theological Seminary to be the provost. So what I'm trying to say is that my character would have destroyed even that post and destroyed everything. But God made it in such a way that I didn't do what I intended to do. So that was when we talk about our character, and when we talk about these things, we will find out that it helps. And what you have just taught us about progress when we have pains, it's very, very true. And I want to believe that if we have pains and try to control our emotions, we would make some headways in our lives and we will build our characters. So another example I want to do, I attended a church in Lagos. Now, this is just to let you know that when you talk about physical appearance, that you are actually saying the real thing. I attended a church in Lagos and I was very surprised. Believe me, even till today, I am still very surprised that people who were not properly dressed, people who were shabbily dressed, were turned back. At the gate, they were turned back. So I didn't know the reason why they did that. But the lesson tonight actually tells us that we should dress properly, take care of our bodies, take care of our fingernails, because sometimes we don't see all those things as very important. Even our toenails and so on. And at least wear some good clothes, not being tattered. And so, there was a time I wore a t-shirt, and that was even along the street. Believe me, the way people were looking at me, I became ashamed of myself. and and I had to go back and changed. So what you are actually saying tonight is very, very important. And how I wish that I would continue learning the dynamics that will improve my character. So I stop here. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and thank you everybody in the class.
Thank you so very much to our elder. We celebrate you, our elder. I cannot allow the comment of being stopped from coming into church inappropriately dressed or maybe in t-shirts or slippers or barefoot. I cannot allow that to pass my ministerial observation. For me personally, I don't think I will ever turn somebody back from coming to my fellowship because of how they're dressed. That will never, ever happen. I think I would turn back a minister who is coming to my pulpit to preach or to speak based on how he carries himself. But I don't think any person that is coming to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I'm speaking as a Christian, as a leader that was dealing with those from the gangs and the streets and the less fortunate that didn't have anything, because even in the circles where I was, many people were turned back because they were not appreciated for how they dress and how they look. And I'm not referring to those individuals. I'm speaking about leaders. I'm speaking about those in authority, those entrusted stewardship of mentoring others through how they carry themselves and how they look. As a matter of fact, I learned how to carry myself appropriately by looking at those who were in front of me on the platform and in the pulpits of our ministry. And those are the things that changed my character. But they never came and said to me, you need to do this or do that. Why? Because as you are exposed more, you recognize the behavior, the protocol, the attitude, and you allow the pain of your own presence to change you, and you change. And I think that change for any person is a progressive work, and it's a work of choice. It's by choice. I cannot make somebody show up in church looking like me, but I can make sure that I show up looking the way I wish that they would choose to look and would consider it as appropriate. So in as much as I smile with you and I appreciate your exposition on that aspect pertaining to persons being turned away, Your Excellency, I don't subscribe to turning away the people who want to come to God, because we even teach, come as you are. Just as you are, come. And for me, that's acceptable. But to my pulpit and to my platform, don't come as you are, come appropriately attired. I hope you appreciate what I share. Your Excellency, I hope that you appreciate me for sharing that honestly, but I couldn't let that slide on the platform because I'm totally different as a leader. I want to ask Zionist, who's in the UK, here with us in the United Kingdom. What is your take this evening, Zionist? Please give us your take on this evening's class. And the time is now 10:39, and here in the UK, and I was just making sure that Her Excellency Doreen, our COO, is available. And I will, once she submits that she's available, I will also greet Her Excellency. But Zionist, please greet us this evening and share your thoughts on this evening's class.
Yes. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Michael Steele. And thank you all the excellencies in the house and all guests and those who are with us tonight and those who are watching either through the YouTube or through the Zoom. It's a pleasure to be among you all and to have been a recipient of this excellent teaching today. As I listened to all the lessons from each one of your excellencies, I gleaned a lot, and I'm always gleaning. It's like the crayfish in the ocean. I'm always picking up things that I find applicable to me, and something that I definitely will pass on to somebody else. I reflected on the situation that our Lord Jesus Christ went through. That was in Matthew from chapter 14, from verse 13. In this very scenario, we have Jesus heard that John has been beheaded. He withdrew privately by boat to a very solitary place, but then the crowd followed him. In our present environment, if somebody has been hurt, they need time to grieve. We need to give them time. We need to empathize with them. But the crowd have heard about Jesus Christ, and they go to him because of what they would get from Jesus Christ, irrespective of the fact that he has just suffered a loss. So Jesus Christ, we're talking about emotion here. We're talking about character. The normal person will break down. The normal person will say, don't you guys get it? Don't you understand? But the crowd followed him, and irrespective of all that, he was able to contain their need of him, whatever he was going to give to them, whether it's healing, whether it's feeding. He had compassion on them. He healed them. He continued with his ministerial activity, irrespective of what he was going through. Nothing was written on his face. There was no anger. There was no loss of emotion. And then it ensued with a need to feed them. And the disciples saying, we can feed them. And Jesus saying, yes, we can feed them. He ended up feeding them. And on and on and on and on. And we found that he never had time to draw any respite in spite of what he's gone through. There was need from him, and he constantly provided in a very calm, loving, articulate way as a leader. And that to me says a lot in relation to all that I've heard, all the excellencies in the house talked about today. Her Excellency Dr. Defoe mentioned that as a leader, one of the things she said, that's not relating to Jesus. She said, when we encounter repeating pattern, it is usually because we have not learned or remedied those situations. We kind of pushed it aside and want to move on, only to find that those situations does come up again. We need to challenge those situations. We need to work on those situations because we are leaders and people are expecting so much of us. Like the Bible said, to him who much is given, much is expected. And we cannot deny it. And so I take an understanding from what Her Excellency said, and I will build on that one as well. And then Your Excellency, Dr. Bishop Michael Steele, you made mention of what your mother said. What has not passed to you has not met you. And that is a very, very strong, very strong saying. Our emotional stability can be triggered, at any point as we get older. That's one thing you say, because we feel that as we get older, the pressure of life should get lesser and we should be more stable, but that is far from the case. And so that is something I have picked up an understanding, a learning from as well. And I go back to my mentor, His Excellency Architect Olukoya. He mentioned that pain is synonymous to character. And if we allow pain to do its work, we will get a refined character that is admirable and worthy of praise. I'll paraphrase it in my own word. And so he mentioned accepting rebuke and making adjustment to allow us to make a quantum leap towards progress instead of retrogressing because we are refusing to accept rebuke. Rebuke is actually good for us when we get rebuke from a mentor whose interest is to see us move forward, because they say, show me, there's a saying that show me your leader, and I will show you, which school you come from. So rebuke from a mentor whose thought is for the building of the student is actually good for us. Every discipline that is not detrimental to our life is actually good. I've been a recipient of a very strong discipline from an African cultural context, and it has done me good. And I thank my mother and father for the discipline, though sometimes I do not like it, but it worked. And His Excellency Daniel Sokoro, pardon my pronunciation, sir. One thing you mentioned, you talked about the pain, the incident where you were supposed to come to London, and it was kind of somebody played some game on that or subverted it. You did not yield to their standard, to their low moral standard. You rose up above that. You got rewarded, and you actually gotten into a better position than you would have if you had allowed yourself to be subsumed, to be sucked into the pain of your disappointment or into emotion of your pain. And so I am thankful, Your Excellency, that continuously I keep saying thank you for giving me the opportunity to be among this class of Steele. If you want to see how beautiful the earth is, you have to be prepared to fly with the eagles. And this, I believe, is exactly what I am doing. And above and beyond all things, I give God Almighty the thanksgiving for giving me the opportunity to be in this class. I am learning and I'm growing. Thank you very much. And thank you to all Your Excellencies.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for your submission and your contribution to the class this evening. Well noted, and will go down in history like all of the other classes that we will have. I want to ask Her Excellency Doreen Barunji out of Uganda if she is available to unmute, because I don't want our COO to go without making a submission, but I know that she's been having challenges with the network. Your Excellency Doreen Barunji, are you with us?
Yes, Dr. Michael Steele, I'm with you. My background is not so good, and where I'm charging from, it's quite private. But I wouldn't want members in the class of Steele to see. I hope that is accepted.
Okay, it is acceptable, Your Excellency. You're free, please.
All right. Good evening to you all, the excellencies in the house, all the invited guests of the class of Steele, and the management team. Today, we still continue on the topic of progressing through pain. And our main focus has been the effects of pain on character. For me, my submission today is about physical appearance. How do you look? I want to give a live example, and we had this experience in Dubai. And we saw so many people appearing differently, dressing differently, and well, including myself. And some people asked me, why do you dress like this? I said, I feel comfortable. I love saying, I'm okay. I'm not a, I say, you feel comfortable? I say, yes, I feel free when I wear like this. And I saw so many people dressed in, especially the ladies, they were dressed in tight clothing, short clothing. And we discussed about how each and every person was appearing. And some members whom we were discussing with, they say they feel comfortable the way they are. and like, okay, so this is comfortable. Yes, this is comfortable. So it all depends on how you feel, especially when you're doing, for example, for us as leaders, you need to look at yourself before you present yourself to the audience. You must feel comfortable within your skin audience to receive. That is what? How you dress, how you walk, how you move how you look in the audience. All this brings out the best in you. So it begins how? How does it begin? So many people don't look at themselves in the mirror. When they are naked, for example, when they are naked, they look at them. As you grow older, you find that maybe your belly is growing bigger, your body is expanding. But do you feel comfortable like that? Some people don't feel comfortable like that. That's why you see in the many people go for plastic surgery. They were not comfortable in their skin, so they went to do something about it. Some go to the gym to look the way they want to look. So physical appearance is really key to overcoming the pain. The pain comes when you don't accept yourself, when you have lost your self-esteem. You find people who are really small, they are very comfortable in their skin. You find people who are big, they are also equally comfortable. But there are those who are both like that and they are not comfortable. And that hinders your progress in life. So you think everybody else is looking at you and saying, oh, you're fat, you're big, you're too small. That is the only thing that is tormenting your mind, and it causes you not to concentrate on what is really very important. One time I had a friend of mine, well, we're the same age, but she never appreciated her lips. She said her lips were too big. And this was a journalist. She was a journalist, and the media, the media had the cameras on her, and she was not comfortable. In as much as she was communicating to people, she felt that her lips were too big. I had to personally take time I spent a lot of work on her. I said, your lips are so beautiful, I wish you know. I said, you can put all these shades of lipstick, try. So we started to do the things together. And she would go out and they say, wow, she was called Lavens, you look so beautiful. Why haven't you not been wearing this shade? You look so, they started noticing her. And before we knew it, she was already getting married. So somebody saw something, all right? So if you love yourself, look at your physical appearance inside you, just alone. Just look at yourself in the mirror. Look at everything that from your eyes, from your cheeks, and then your back, your behind. Look at yourself, speak to yourself that you look beautiful. If you have nothing to do about it, you just have to accept it so that no one can come and surprise you and tell you something that you already know and say, okay, I have small legs. Yes, I know, and I love them. Yeah, I'm not gonna ask for bigger legs because God already gave me these legs. So many people have all these inferiority complexes and they don't pursue their dreams. They are probably limited to how much they can achieve. So our mentor, for sure, physical appearance is very key to success. To success in being ambassadors where we are. We need to start with how we look. Once we look very good, we don't even you don't spend a lot of time talking because everybody is appreciating you. You have already spoken it. You'll spend less time to get people on board because already your physical appearance and how you are talking just sums it up. So it is good to appreciate yourself. Look at yourself before you leave your house. See how you look and then you go out in the field. Like for me, I am not I'm a simple dresser, but I feel very confident in the way I dress. I'm not exaggerative. I'm not say exaggerative, but I am okay. I am okay. I feel comfortable. I feel good, and I don't admire sophisticated dressing. Although if I had it, I would still be the same person as I am. So I submit. I thank you so much for bringing this up. People, all of us, we should feel comfortable. I remember when I was with Dr. Comfort in Dubai, she was so comfortable in her skin. Yeah. And she was always saying, oh, I must go and change my clothing. So I'm like, wow, I loved her energy. She was just somebody who is not, she was confident, she was complete. She was a complete package. But you can be with somebody and somebody is always frustrating you and saying, I don't think I'm smart. you fly all the way from Africa or from Uganda to Dubai and you don't feel that you're smart. Please. Anyway, I don't want to continue this, but thank you so much for bringing it up. And I hope that you're blessed by it. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency. We appreciate your submission to the class this evening. And of course, feeling comfortable and loving yourself is all a part of your physical and your emotional, and building your character is very, very important, that you love how you look and how you feel as an individual. Exceptionally true. I want to, Florence, you want to just share your thoughts. Florence is in Uganda as well. And the time is 3 minutes before 11 o'clock, and we're getting ready to close. Florence, go ahead with your submission this evening, please. Your Excellency, Florence in Uganda.
Thank you, Dr. Michael Steele. Good evening, all the ambassadors in the house this evening. Whatever has been said this night has been wonderful. It is impacting, personally, it is impacting my character, moving it forward. Many of these things, like I said the other time, that sometimes pain can take us backwards instead of, depending on how you allow it, you can regress instead of progressing. However, we are learning a lot. I'm personally learning a lot and getting back to some of the things. All these things are very critical. Whatever has been spoken tonight is key. You know that sometimes one of the things, like Doreen was saying, like for instance, dressing alone can either, because when people look at you and you're not well dressed, even whatever you are is going to come out of you may already lose meaning. People may not want to listen anymore by just looking at you, seeing how you are dressed. They will question what you have to say. By the time they realize you are saying something worthwhile, you have already said half of it and they have already rubbished it. But when you are smart, even if you are saying nothing, people will be waiting for the next. What is he or she saying next? What is next? Maybe the important point is coming next, because they are happy to look at a nice looking person. So really, I thank you, our mentor, for this, because you are doing a really good work in us.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency Florence.
Even God commits ministry to character. If you don't have a good character, God can never your ministry can never grow beyond a certain size. Even your whatever you even as a leader, you can never grow an organization or make it to realize reach the goals that it is supposed to, that you aspire, if your character is not well built. So I thank you very much, our mentor, and everybody who has presented. We've taken note, and we will use these things to impact our characters to move forward.
Thank you so very much, Florence, out of Uganda. We appreciate you so very much. Thank you for your submission. Adiola Olukoya, you want to just share your thoughts? I'm gonna close shortly, but I just don't want to leave without giving individuals an opportunity just to say a brief thought on the message because it impacts all of us. Your Excellency Adiola Olukoya, please.
Good evening, Your Excellency. Good evening to all the Excellency in the house. I really want to appreciate this opportunity, to share my thoughts on what has been discussed today. Is something that is very important for every one of us to take note of. There's an adage in my language, but I'm going to translate in English. It says that a man's character is like a smoke. It goes up. So there's no way a man can cover his character. One way or the other is going to come up. And another thing as we're talking is, just like the Bible says, we are written epistles. People are watching us, they are reading us. And we shouldn't be surprised, what people will say, either we're there or we're not there. There are times that, some people, the way they behave outside there, or some things they demonstrate out there, people whisper, you mean this one is a Christian? You mean this person is this? So many that people are watching us and they are looking at us. And, the way God has placed us in the society, we are not just ordinary people. And we should never see ourselves as ordinary people because, there are people that God has placed in our lives that our lives, the way we live our life, what we say, what we do out there, we will affect them either positively or negatively. But I know that what God wants us to do is to affect lives positively. So that's why we have to build on our characters, and just as the Bible says that we should look unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. He's the one, when we look at him, the way he lives his life, the way he lived his life, it helps us to know how do we live our life even in the society. There's so many things, the society is perverse, so many things, but, how do people see us? What do people say about us? Either we are there or we're not there. So I really want to appreciate, what you said today. And one of the things you said also, you said something that, whatever we do or whatever happens, should make us to be better and not to be bitter. There are times we go through some experience in life, or, God allow us to go through some things, that it seems as if they are is humiliating in nature. But, should we get bitter over it, or should we get better over what has happened? Something happened this week, and I was asking myself that, God, why would you allow me to go through this? Because I know that things that surround that incident, were not actually, what I would love to go through as a person. But somehow I found myself there, and I was asking God, and God said, it's to make me better, not to make me feel bitter. Actually, I felt bitter, when the other party was saying this was it, and lying and no manner of thing. I could not say anything. I could not defend myself, when they were saying that. But God said, don't feel bitter, but feel better, because I'm going to bring out the best out of this situation. And our attitude towards things we face, things we go through, things we pass through really matter a lot. The Lord bless us. Thank you very much, sir. I'm grateful. Yes.
Thank you so very much for your submission, Your Excellency Olukoya. And I see Charles is there. Charles is in Ghana. Charles, would you like to just greet us this evening? And we're getting ready to close, coming down to the end. Professor Charles, is that you this evening? Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna close this evening. I want to thank all of you for being a part of the class of Steele this evening. I acknowledge the quick entrance of Dr. McKenzie. I know that you were not here for most of the class, but I appreciate your popping into the class this evening. And all of you who are here, thank you for being with us. We look forward to class on Friday. And I believe Dr. Defoe, you'll be with us on Friday class, Dr. Anita Davis Defoe, or myself. We will look forward to seeing you on Friday in the class of Steele. And we're getting ready to take a break. The First Lady is saying to me we need to take a vacation so that me and her can get some uninterrupted evenings. So we're going to be giving the class of Steele a couple of weeks break in August. We will be meeting with the management team and we will put that in place officially for a couple of weeks in August, that we will not be having any class of Steele while we are putting in place our youth arm that is starting from the first Saturday in August. The youth arm of the class of Steele is starting, and I want to dedicate a couple of weeks to building the youth arm of the class of Steele. So I think the second or the third week of August, we're going to be closing the class of Steele for about 2 weeks, and just to give us a break. And then we will pop in September and come back with what we're going to be doing in the class of Steele. With that being said, I want to appreciate all of us. Thank you for being with us. Those in our Zoom, our YouTube, and in our Facebook sessions, thank you so very much for listening in and allowing us the opportunity to engage with you these 2 hours or this hour and a half, 2 hours on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, every single week, same time. As a matter of fact, it was a funny thing just jumped in my head. Same time, same back time, and the same back channel. I don't know how many of you that will put a smile on your face if you remember those days. But we'll be here the same time, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Looking forward to giving you information and entertainment that will cause you to reach to the next level. I'm His Excellency Dr. Michael Steele with my team, His Excellency Dr. Donald Ewers, our COO Doreen Barunji, and our Chief of Protocols, and all of us. Thank you so very much for being with us. Good night and God bless, and have a great day tomorrow. Zionists in the UK, good night and God bless.
Good night, God bless. Good night, everybody. God bless.
Dr. McKenzie, thank you so very much for being with us tonight. Good night and God bless everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night. God bless.